Max, how are you, sir? We finally got together. What happened? I lost you.
Doing well. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I got you now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day here in Richmond, Virginia. Right off the bat, I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about the spiritual side of prepping, I thought it'd be interesting to sort of tell people or maybe give people an example of just how far back preparedness and prepping goes, and it's literally within the pages of the Bible, right?
Yeah, so, my grandparents, they prepped every year and basically used stuff that had been handed down to them for generation. And, when we
Yeah.
know that many times in the Bible, it tells us we shouldn't worry about tomorrow, but we should always be prepared, because we need to plant to feed our families back in those days. You need to raise animals. And to do that, and we see that one of the Bible characters was basically sold into slavery by his brothers. He ends up raising all the way to the ranks of second in command under Pharaoh. Well, they're scared to death when they find out who it is. And they said, look, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And then God gives him that vision of 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty. So during the years of plenty, they put back. So when the famine come, they were all fine.
Yeah. Biblical food storage. No doubt about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
So what are you
Yes, sir.
teaching at Prepper Camp this year, right?
So I normally always do the church services on Sunday
Yeah.
morning.
Hmm.
But each day I teach on mental and spiritual preparedness
Yeah, I love that.
because, yeah, so, most people don't realize, you may have tools to get through something and do something, but if you hadn't mentally walked through what that's going to be like and be prepared,
Oh yeah.
COVID proved that people had meltdowns. And,
Right.
uh, and, and like I give a lot of statistics on how mental illness went up.
Right.
People went into depression. Suicide hotlines increased hundreds of percent, and they just weren't ready for it. And you can have all the stuff for 25 years. You can have your own little grid, all the food, all the water, the shelter, all the ammo, guns, and everything. But if you're not prepared in your head and your heart, you're not going to make it. And so it's better to be prepared mentally and spiritually is more important than having all the stuff. Now, having all the stuff and that is the ultimate goal, of course. But I live on this. I get myself mentally ready. I educate myself, and I can move on the fly, so to speak.
Adaptability. Huge skill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the spiritual side of things, man, it seems like this might sound crazy, maybe not to a guy like you, but it seems like the demons out there in our society are more bold than ever. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we're seeing the most corrupt generation since the generation before Noah. I mean, the things that we're witnessing now, I mean, it's insanity to believe in what some things that people believe in. And this is an example that I give a lot of times. Why would you walk up to some young girl that's severely anorexic and tell her that she's fat? That's the most cruel thing that you could probably do
Yeah.
rather than tell her the truth. And the truth always stands alone. It doesn't have to defend itself. And that's just kind of how I look at life, And when the COVID thing comes down, I actually decided to enjoy it. Got to be somewhere. Might as well take
Yeah.
advantage of it.
That's a good way to look at it for sure, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
yeah, in the face of something like that, you only have so many options, right? Panic,
We
relax,
have,
you know.
yeah,
We
yeah.
dug
So,
into what we had prepared for a long time, and And there was quite a bit of research and kind of
Yeah.
intuition and all that kind of stuff through that period of time too, right?
Yeah, work on your garden while everybody was home. I with my business, I own a surveying business, so I was out working all the time anyhow. But I
Right.
mean, you got things you can work. I mean, you can quit your job and work on your house 40 hours a week and never get that fully accomplished. There's always something to do, and that's one thing I teach in my class is, you know, stay busy. That's part of the mental deal. Take advantage of where you're at. And we've seen lives changed. In our church service, we've seen 4 people get saved over the last few years. I mean, people coming and making connections like we've never made before. And I think this year is going to be really outstanding for some things that we've even got planned. And because at the end of the day, you better make preparations for where you're going to go after this life. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
greatest prep you can ever do.
sure. Yeah, you're talking about idle hands, right? And prepping is a good thing to keep you busy, to keep you from having them idle hands,
Yeah,
right?
and if you're living right, doing right by God, and a lot of people like to quote Romans 8:28, and they say, well, the Bible says all things work together for good to them basically they just stop. All things work together for good. Well, not necessarily. That's not right life. If you don't say the rest of it. I mean, that's because people are in hell. Did it work out for them?
Yeah.
No. But the verse is all things work together for good to them that love God and who are called according to his purpose. So there's 3 things there. You got to be born again. You have got to love God with all your heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. That's what Jesus taught. And if you're in his will and you accomplish all 3 of those things, nothing will happen to you in this life that God will not equip you for, because he ultimately wants your success. But you have to fall in his rules and accept his covenant the way he says it is. And it's just amazing. I mean, because the Bible plainly says, David said he'd never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there it is.
That's
God
it.
will always give us opportunities if we do our part.
Right. And that's the key, right? That is the key.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm getting to the point, Rex, where I feel like prepping is doing your part anymore. You know what I mean? Like at
Absolutely.
least it's a part of it. It's a piece of it, not becoming dependent on others, for what you need. That self
So
sufficiency gives you the ability to do more in the community and those kinds of things.
I've been telling my church members for a long time, you need about a year's worth of food on hand, because that gives you in the cycle that you can actually grow a garden. But I tell them plus 10%. And a lot of people say, why 10% more? Well, you want to give that away. You want to help other people. If I
Oh,
can
that's
be
nice.
prepared,
Okay.
yeah, and I've got my 10% that is designated to give away that won't be taken away from my family, then I do 2 things. I help the community. Plus, I'm not a burden of a person in need.
Right.
I
Yep.
become from a net taker to a net giver.
Yeah,
And
that's
that,
huge.
yeah, it don't take a lot of people to do that. And then you've helped your community and you change people's lives when you help them.
I like that. 10% on top of a year one. Yeah, yeah, a little over a month's worth of food to give out. That could make a
Yeah,
big difference in a community for sure.
absolutely. And you get enough people doing that. Look how many people you can help. And a lot of times, even if times get really bad in a month, you can figure out something, because in a couple of months, people are going to figure out how to trade.
Oh yeah,
You know,
people will
you
adapt
know.
for sure.
I mean, because how many people we know that are like off the deep end and like got 25 years worth of food, and they're just they're going to be in the market. Maybe they're the wise ones that they're going to be the first business people.
Be the
when
local Walmart, right?
Yeah. I
So how
spent a
long have
lot
you
of
been? Go ahead. Sorry.
well, I spent a lot of time in Western North Carolina. Actually, prepper camp. I landed there when the sun popped out, and we didn't know because there was no communication how bad it was on the streams and
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But I did a lot of disaster work. I worked a lot of hurricanes and stuff, and used to have a lab, and we'd study stuff in streams and stuff. But we had no idea how bad it went. But I knew that it was bad from what I saw, but I didn't know the flooding was that extreme.
yeah,
It was the perfect weekend to have prepper camp. Absolute perfect weekend.
yeah,
But after going back and working up there so much, um, you need redundant resources, because
yeah,
if you lost your home, you probably lost all your prep stuff.
yeah.
What's the most valuable tool that God ever give you? Your
Oh, for
head
sure.
and your hands if you're healthy.
Yeah,
And you can figure a few things out and do.
yeah. Well, we had a person on the network who mentioned the fact that there was a body of water in Western North Carolina that was part of their emergency water plan, and after Helene, it was a cesspool filled with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And not anything you'd want to drink out of. So that's a good message because things can change in an instant, and then
yeah.
you gotta persevere and move on from that plan to another one. How long you been a pastor, Rex?
I've been at the same church for about 23 years now.
Wow, congratulations. That's quite the
Yeah,
commitment.
I got called late in life, and
So you get plenty of energy still to go.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
But
good. That's good. So what are you looking forward to most coming to prepper camp this year?
man, I just love meeting the people. Um, it's the most unique place that Rick and Jane have put together, because a lot of people think prepper camp are like, oh, these are some weirdos that's out there 10 foil hats and all that. But mostly we're just doing what our grandparents did. We're preparing for next year, and it's a good mindset. There are a lot of good believers there, and the networks that we build. I've got lifelong friends there now that I don't ever plan on breaking.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
yeah,
A lot of new friends made through prepper camp every year. There's no doubt about that, right?
yeah, and the people that have come to my classes, it's just amazing. We'll just stand around and talk forever afterwards, and we'll see each other, and we bounce things off of each other, and I don't know if you've ever been to one of my classes or my church
Uh-uh.
services. I'm pretty pointed. I just say it how it is. Try to do it in love, but hey, it's like I teach. One of the things I teach in my class is this: you can have the best gear, you can have the best go bag, you can have the best weapon, you can have all that, but if you're not able to walk 5 miles over uneven ground, there's no point in having a go bag.
Yeah, you're gonna leave it so you can
Yeah,
survive.
yeah. So, once the vehicle is useless, you can't go, and
Right.
some people won't be able to. And those that are like, handicapped, something like that, then they need to make other preparations and team up with other people. But
Sure.
people who are capable of being in shape, you need to get out there and get in shape.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Do you have any standout memories from prepper camps of the years past?
Yeah, man. And even last year, it was amazing just seeing people's lives changed forever, and
Yeah,
and and some for eternity. I
yeah,
mean, people becoming believers, and just when you see somebody break down and they're just praising God and thanking God for this opportunity to change their entire eternity, or seeing people like, man, my eyes are really open to what I should be doing, and it the change that's come, people, has just been phenomenal.
hmm. Man, that yeah. you like you said, changes lives for eternity. That's huge. That's a
Yeah,
crazy one. If we think in
yeah,
terms of they walk out of one of our classes and for the rest of the year they're going to be thinking about, oh, how I could do this better, how I could
yeah,
do that better. You're talking
yeah.
about
How I could put
eternity.
one, how I could put one more green bean in each jar.
That's it. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and those things are great. And the things about Prepper Camp I like is that Rick and Jane have brought such a variety of different things
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
people and vendors, and it's not just a focus on this one thing. They're bringing in the whole spectrum of everything that you need,
Oh yeah.
and not just, well, I got to have food and water. Okay, well, how you gonna cook that food? How you going? One thing we learned, that I'm a big promoter of, is having a form of communication with your neighbors, radios, whatever. You can learn that at Prepper Camp. You can buy radios at Prepper Camp.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Man, it is an amazing place, man. It really is. I can't wait. I look forward to seeing you there, Rex. For real.
yeah, and one of my other pastors is coming with me, and then, of course, I don't know if you got to talk to. We call him Doc, but he does the tent every year, the medical tent, and
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, and so he's awesome. He goes to my church. He's the one that got me started coming to
Oh,
Prepper Camp. Well, let me tell you the craziest thing about Prepper Camp.
let's hear it.
So
That's what we're here for.
Morris, who we called Doc, he kept on, man. I said, man, I really want to go. I'm really interested in stuff because I'm a real outdoorsy guy. Like, I went out Sunday after church and run with a kid on everything for about 8 kilometers. And I
Yeah.
just love that, me and my dog. But anyhow, I was working on the engine on my vehicle, and I kept fighting it. Had a couple NASCAR engines, and with just one thing, couldn't get it going. Finally, I just throwed everything in my work vehicle, went up there, slept on the ground, got up, did the church service, and a lady doctor from Alaska and a guy from Alabama, both of them give their heart and life to Jesus Christ. And it was
Wow.
so, yeah, and just stayed in contact with those guys over the years. I haven't talked to them in a while now, but you know, it's worth it, man. It's just so worth it to be up there, and it's like a mini vacation. You don't have to worry about the world. Just chill out.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
like a family reunion. That's what everybody's been saying lately on these podcasts. It's like a family reunion, like a big family reunion without the drama.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? Well, thank you for joining me
Yes, it
today,
is.
sir. I appreciate it. And yeah, don't miss Rex's class, folks. Get your tickets to Prepper Camp. They're going to go up August 15th. So make sure you get them now, and you'll get the best deal available right now.
And
I
remember
love
this,
the
there is no plan B.
shirt. I love the shirt. All right, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
Brother James, you be good, and I look forward to seeing you shortly.
Most definitely. Talk to you
All
soon.
right, carry on.